So Adam, Laura, you're quite correct. There are many more people watching these videos now, as well as Celeste, of course. I think she's out grocery shopping right now. The principle of planet formation. This is the numero uno. If anything is learned from this theory development, it's this first. And if you only know this, you understand the entire thing. It's as simple as that. I have it here, January 15th, 2016, or the principle of planet formation. This was, holy moly, over 4 years ago. Abstract. I love doing this. You'll see in a second here. Anthony Abruzzo hypothesized the foundational understanding that planets are byproducts of stellar evolution and not the byproducts of their formation. This principle is described below. The title of Abruzzo's paper is misleading, as this is a new understanding and requires that a considerable amount of discernment be used. Now, a little background history concerning this. September 3rd, 2011, I discovered that, Earth is the remains of an ancient star by looking at the stellar evolution page. I didn't even know Anthony Abruzzo even existed. I didn't even know there was a problem with planet formation. I didn't even know stellar evolution models were incorrect. I had no idea. It was all completely new to me. But I started working on it. I told Bill Gates about it. He made a quick video. When it first came out in my mind, I needed some help. I was like, somebody help me, please. I need to get this out there. I can't believe this is happening. But I think about a year or 2 years on, I kept on working on it. And Anthony Abruzzo, he's a much older gentleman than I am. I don't know if he's retired yet. He had emailed me saying, well, you might want to see this. And he showed me the idea from his perspective, and I was like, holy crap, that's it too. We're going the same direction here. And I was like, well, I read all of his papers and I, absorbed a lot of the information, but also I had a lot more to add to it. And I was confused as to why Mr. Abruzzo wasn't continually working on it. And he had told me in an email that, he was a bit, tired of it. The establishment is set in their ways. And he kind of alluded to the fact that I was much younger and had more energy to, plow forward with the idea. And of course, one day I'm going to be the other side of that fence, where I'm going to be just too old to not really, care anymore, because I'll be too tired, just like, let the young guys get it, whatever. But I'll read this out to you. This is this paper, of course. In establishment astronomy as of January 15th, 2016, it is still believed that planets are byproducts of star formation. This is an incorrect philosophy, as it leads to a multitude of issues such as planet core formation, the angular momentum problem of the nebular hypothesis, which still hasn't been solved. It will never be solved, because they're looking at it completely wrong. And core accretion theories, which are also completely wrong. And the formation of 1 centimeter particles into 1 kilometer sized particles or asteroids. In other words, they want 1 centimeter sized pebbles to clump into things the size of cities. Self-assembly of rocks like that, to that magnitude. It's insane. And they teach that. They teach that in school. They teach that rocks self-assemble in outer space. Ignore all of Newton's laws of motion. Ignore all conservation of momentum. Ignore all elasticity and inelasticity of material when it does hit each other. Ignore the fact when you go play billiards or pool, and when you hit the cue ball, all the number balls split apart. Ignore everything about physics and have planets forming from 1 centimeter sized pebbles into 1 kilometer sized asteroids from self-assembly with the wave of a magic wand. But anyways, yada yada, and the amount of hypotheticals which have arisen from a failed philosophy are increasing in number as well, with the discovery of thousands of exoplanets doing things that were not permitted by theory or predicted. Of course, a lot of the ridiculers, they say, well, where's the evidence? Dude, look at the exoplanets. They're doing a bunch of weird stuff that cannot be explained inside of the nebula hypothesis. One thing in particular off the bat is hot Jupiters. Hot Jupiters shouldn't even exist. there shouldn't be a giant gas object right next to its host star. It should never have happened, because in the nebula hypothesis, the gas was supposedly pushed out from the center and left the rocky stars towards the sun. It's impossible for that to have happened. Of course, the nebula hypothesis is false. But the solution presents itself as an easy way to understand deviation from standard accepted theory, and to pave the way for creation of future enlightened astronomers, so that they're not perpetually conditioned into a false dogma or paradigm. The outdated philosophy, followed by the updated philosophy, is presented below. Number 1, planets are byproducts of star formation. This forces planets to be the same age as stars. Or number 2, planets are byproducts of stellar evolution. The planet is the old, evolving star. 2 completely different philosophies here. One has a star being born, and the leftover remains of the star being born forms the planets. Or number 2, the star is the young planet, and objects that form star systems are formed randomly, and they're all vastly different ages in their own different stages of evolution. And to quote Abruzzo here, conclusion, and I'll link this to the bottom so you guys can see it too. The claim has been made that planets should be viewed as the end products and not the byproducts of stellar evolution. The overlapping gradations in mass between the heaviest and lightest spherical objects, presented above for heuristic purposes and without any consideration to individual variations, suggests just such an evolutionary continuum. And Abruzzo is 100% correct. That's the continuum. The hottest, youngest planets are bright, have visible spectrums, and look exactly like the sun, because that's what the sun is, a young planet. And the Earth is a very, very old star, meaning they're the same things. That paper was written in 2008. It's 2020 now, a full 12 years after it was written. As well, it has 1,528 downloads. So a lot of eyeballs have been seeing that paper. A lot of eyeballs have been seeing the theory, as I name it, stellar metamorphosis. Abruzzo calls it stellar transformation. He used the transformation hypothesis, I believe. I didn't like the word transformation because it's kind of separated from life. And in the theory, which I'm not too sure if he writes about this, I can't remember, but in the theory, life itself is a byproduct as well of star evolution. The star is the dissipative structure that eventually forms life on its surface. That's where all the energy for life formation comes from, is from stellar evolution itself. When the star cools and collapses, combines its elements into molecules, and those molecules become more and more complex, and eventually you have us walking around wondering how the ground came to be and what we are and what all this is. All right, guys, take it easy.